right, so this is it, man. February of 2026. It is my 10th year in business. Holy cow. That is absolutely absurd and insane. How? How? I don't know. I thought it would be cool to go through right now and just do a little bit of a recap because I was on my laptop and I was going through and basically arranging all my photos of the last 10 years because I've got two broken laptops that I need to get the data off of and just kind of organize all my files, right? Because everything's just kind of it's like slapped in there, right? So I'm organizing, and holy crap, I found it. I found the photo of when I started and how I started, because I knew this photo existed. I just had no idea where it was. The only place this photo was on an old cell phone that, truth be told, I don't even remember owning this cell phone because it's that long ago. But I was scrolling through the pictures on this old phone and I was like, holy cow, that is my Toyota Celica hatchback with a push mower, non-self-propel, and my little home light weed eater and trimmer. And wow, I'm so excited to find that. And now I had this idea. Let's do basically the story of my business, right? So let's go back to 2016. I'm a young man. I am working at a mom and pop kind of job here in town. I am in college and I am, not really happy with things, right? And wanting to do something else. We're looking for another job at that point in time, and I applied everywhere. Taco Bell, McDonald's, all these other little small businesses, and it would always come up to the same thing. The way my college schedule was, no one would want to hire me. And I would always say, like, dude, I can just work any old time. Like, I need this, like, I have to have a job, and I could not get hired for anything. And I was in a spot of desperation, right? I had no money. I really wasn't satisfied with my job at the time. And what I ended up doing was went out and bought a push mower, non-self-propel, and some really cheap corded weed eater and leaf blower. And at the job I was at and didn't really like, I basically started mowing the lawn. And I would go out there every weekend with that push mower and like thousands of feet of extension cord to run from the back of the building to mow all the way around. It was ridiculous, but I learned and I picked things up, and I grew it out of the back of that Toyota Celica. And here we are today, man. 2 trucks. It was insane because I really didn't know what I was doing the first time I cut it, because the lawn there was treated by one of the really big treatment companies, and it was perfect fescue, and I absolutely obliterated it. And I mean, I obliterated it. I went out with that push mower, and that daggone thing cut. I'll tell you what, because looking back in hindsight, that was some thick fescue, and that mower tore right through it. Cut it down, okay? I'm talking like I went ham on that thing. Obviously the owner was pissed off, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just said, I don't even know what I'm doing at the time. And from that point on, I basically start researching and figuring out. I'm like, oh crap, okay. And over the years, it's been a lot of that, right? So we ended up working for that guy, that old boss, that year. Then the business across the street came over while I was mowing and said, hey, do you want to do ours? I said, sure. And then he asked me to do some other things that I had no idea, like the hedges or like the weed and feed. I was like, I don't even know what that is. And again, you just kind of build and learn on your knowledge like that. So I worked that entire year, and I saved up enough money to eventually buy, I think it was $1,700. I bought a 1993 Chevy pickup. I'll put that on screen. We'll play a few videos of it. Um, and that truck was awesome. I love that truck. And the reason I specifically bought that, I remember, is because um, growing up, my grandfather had one of those and my dad had one of those. I just love those trucks, right? Those trucks were awesome. And I love that truck. It was amazing. And it was just like getting in, as a kid, right? And having that, that felt the same to sit in, to drive. It was so cool. But basically what I did is I ran the same push mower weed eater setup that was in that Toyota Celica. I ran it out of the back of the truck, saved up again, and spent 800 or 900 bucks on a Cub Cadet 33-inch and some ramps to load it in and out. Very unsafe. Thankfully I didn't get crushed. That's great. And at that point, things really kind of took off. I remember I got lettering on the side of that truck. And like I say, we ended up just getting call after call, it felt like. And at some point so that was in 2016 when I was running out of the Toyota Celica. Late 2016, I had saved up enough to buy the Chevy. By 2017, we had built it up to like 60 customers or something. And here's like I say 60, but it was 60 customers that were so low pay. It was excruciatingly low paying. 25, 35 bucks. So I had tons of customers. We had absolutely no money. And by the time 2017 rolls around in the spring, I ended up purchasing a 5x8 trailer. And at some point, pretty quickly, that Cub Cadet 33-inch that I got at the end of 2016 basically fell apart. Literally, the deck fell off. The Cub Cadet dealer would not honor the warranty and just replace the dang thing. So they kind of did a crappy weld job, and it just never really worked right. It was never even from that point on. So I desperately went out with a few $100 cash on Marketplace, and I bought a John Deere LA 145 ride-on mower. And with that mower, it had a bagger. And so what I did was I bought that mower, got it set up, cleaned up, tuned up, sharpened the blades, got it ready, okay? But then I also bought a brush kit for the deck so that we could lay stripes. And just like that, everything's good. I got a trailer, I got a lawnmower that can lay stripes. Oh my gosh, how freaking cool, right? And it's like things just kept going like that, little tiny bumps up. From that point, what ends up happening is we get up to like 60 customers. I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm pretty sure it was raining that year. 2017 we're still in. And I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. So I went down to the Ferris dealer, and I'm looking around at a couple, and I could get no one to work with me. So basically it ends up being that since I was young and I had always used cash, I never had a credit card, I never had a loan up to that point. I think I'm like 22 or 23 at that point. What ended up happening is I get my grandfather to come and co-sign with me, and we get a 2017 Ferris Z2. I still have it. Doesn't run, but I still have it sitting around in the, like I say, the parts pile out there in the back. And that thing carried, oh my God, like that was life-changing to have that lawnmower. Dude, I was busting through these lawns. But keep in mind, I didn't have my charging right, because I was still doing 25, 35, $40 lawns on a lawn that should be an $80 lawn, right? So again, we're still in an area where I'm getting screwed money-wise, but I am getting the work done, and my customer base is, really having a good time, right? Because their yards look great, and they're not spending much money. Well, 2018 rolls around, and I cut so many properties. I want to say I ended 2017 with 65 customers. I want to say I started 2018 with about 40. So I got rid of a bunch of people. Like, I didn't even call them back just because, like, at that point I had no money. I was so miserable working so much. Didn't even call them back. Didn't even bother. So we start tweaking our pricing. The Ferris is still doing great. Although it did in 2018 have a lot of issues. I think a transmission went out. One of the pulleys went out, and even though I bought it the year prior, they had actually discontinued the pulleys. So there was not a dealer within 100 miles of me, and there's videos of this on my channel, that could get me that part. And my dealer would not help me find one. They would not take one off of the mowers in the shop to help me out and you know, keep me running. I was pissed. So I ended up calling Ferris directly, and I got, like, it took me like a month to sort this out. Okay, because if I didn't make these calls, what it was going to end up being was the dealer couldn't get the part, and they weren't looking for the part because oh, well, we can't get the part. I don't know what to do. So they were just useless. Absolutely. So I'm calling Ferris, going from like person to person there. And I got lucky one day. I called them and I found the one good guy at Ferris who went back into the warehouse or the shop, or I don't know where he was at even. And he comes out and he says, "Hey, Aaron." I go, "Hey, yeah. Yeah, I've got one right here." What? It was that easy. Literally, all you have to do if you're the dealer is call them and do. Why am I sourcing my own parts, right? I was pissed. I was livid. So we got the part in, and I got it put on, and we were smooth sailing from that point on. Rolling into like 2019 is when I finally bought the John Deere 60-inch. And I have a video on this. I made the switch to John Deere after all that Ferris issue because I could not get any help with our Ferris dealer. And here's the deal, even to this day, that Ferris, the way it cut, the way it feels to drive, the absolute best feeling lawnmower when it was working. However, the most reliable lawnmower was the 2019 John Deere's that I bought. I bought the 36-inch stander, I think the M36 or whatever the 36-inch stander is. And then I bought the 60-inch Z960 with the 31 horsepower engine. I still have that one. I sold the 36-inch because I was never using it. I think I got to 2025, I got to last year. I'd had it for 6 years, and I had only put like 200 hours on that 36-inch mower. Whereas the 60-inch sit-down zero turn has 1,400 hours now. So I still have both of those, and those things carried me, right? And I want to say that same year, 2018, I purchased the trailer that I'm still using. I don't have it with me today. I'm in the ramp rack setup. But I purchased my SureTrack trailer. It's a 7x12. And again, it has been the absolute perfect trailer. It's actually in the shop getting a refresh right now. New tires, jack, you know, just spring. One of the springs is broke. The gate's getting fixed. So excited to get that thing back. But that was in 2019. And basically the last 5 years, 6 years since COVID really has been a process of upping the prices and tweaking the service kind of slowly and slowly introducing like higher end products or higher end services for people, because you have these conversations and people, their knee-jerk reaction is to not opt into things because all they hear is sales and all they hear is a more money being spent, right? So that's their knee-jerk reaction is no, don't worry about that. No, just keep it mowed. And I get that. And then there's the majority of my issue is having a lot of customers over the years. I still have a ton of long-term customers, and all they want is just the bare minimum at the cheapest rate. And I totally get that. But the last few years has been a process of, um, I want to say in 2020, I cut out a lot. In 2020, I stopped doing a lot of stuff because the headache of trying to convince people to do things that would be a little bit nicer, a little bit better on their property, um, it just wore thin on me, you know? And so basically 2020, I went from doing a lot of work, different varieties of services to I'm going to mow for you. If you want mulch, you can tell me that. If you want other stuff than mowing, you tell me. So pretty much I was just mowing. And that was the case from 2020 to like 2023. Um, and like I was doing mulch and stuff, but I wasn't pre-scheduling none of that. Because again, it's just such a headache for me at the time. I don't know what it was, just in my head. I was really just like, gosh, I gotta call 40 people and try to convince them to make their property look nice. And I have to, yeah, it's 12. Like, I don't like asking for money. It's like, yeah, it's $1,200 to get your mulch done. The prices went up. Oh yeah. And it's like, I know customers are, one, it was during COVID. Two, I know more and more everything goes up. Like everybody knows, but they're also very fatigued and wore out and so sick and tired of hearing the prices have gone up again on every single aspect of their life. And now the lawn dude's gonna go up too. So I start realizing that over the course of like 2020 to 2023. And 2024, I would say my shift was, why don't I start introducing those higher levels of service again? Go back to offering a full service lawn and landscape maintenance company and really double down on the fact that we're a maintenance company. So 2024 was when I decided to go that route, which is we're not doing rock installs. We're not doing retaining walls anymore. We're not doing, um, you know, fescue, like really dialing in and specializing, like, what is that lower lawns package going to look like? Like how can I make a schedule and a set of services that when you see my sign out, they're going to look kind of the same, right? And basically that's 2024 is when I started really kind of honing in on that. Made the decision that we are a maintenance first company. You want a retaining wall, we'll maintain it, but get someone else to put it in. You want a rock bed, we'll keep the weeds out, we'll spray it, but we don't do rocks. We don't have the machinery in the back to do rocks all the time. So what we do is, at this point, finally skipping ahead to 2026, all we do is we're really leaning into the full service side of things, right? Mowing on a weekly basis, everybody except for March and October will go to bi-weekly because it's not growing as much, right? Lawn treatments, if you want them, you got 9 months of treatments. We're going to do what the lawn needs. There's not going to be like a cookie cutter set of 6 treatments across the year or this much. We're not playing that game. We're not a one size fits all company in terms of lawn treatments. Every lawn needs something different. You put a soil test down, every soil needs different particles. It needs different things to be successful, right? Landscape maintenance, we're going to put down your mulch in the spring. If you want to opt in the fall, we'll do that. We're going to do your hedges 3 times a year, no more, no less, 3 times a year. If you want fertilizer on those, we can. As if there's bug damage or anything, we'll treat it. Annual flowers, we'll do 4 rounds a year. Kind of a, as the seasons change, certain things will die back. We'll replace what needs it, right? Fall and winter rolls around, leaf cleanups. We'll do 4 leaf cleanups a year. And there you go. That's our service. It's that simple now. We're not running around crazy. We're not like, fighting for work. We have a set service, and the end results, if you pick that service, by the time March, May rolls around and, things are really kind of coming together and the lawns are growing and the flowers are in and the mulch is installed, everybody's stuff is tip top. It's clean. It's pristine. And good to go. And it really, 2026, coming from the back of that Toyota Celica hatchback in 2016, like, I'm so excited for 2026. It is absurd how how ready I am. 2025 was amazing. It was great. It was a big year. But 2026, we've gotten rid of a few customers that have been a hindrance, for a lack of a better term. Not really cooperative, not really wanting the service that I want to provide. All of them are gone. And we got a ton of prepayments already this year, so there's a lot of cash on hand. I'm going to utilize a lot of that for marketing, lettering up the truck, but I'm also going to really work to get an employee in here that just vibes, right? And I think my goal for this year is the only thing, so I've got the service down, I've got the schedule down, it's what we're doing. The only thing I need to do this year to make this thing feel perfect, I think, knock on wood, the only thing I need to do this year, and my main focus this year, is to find that one guy that wants to be here, that wants to work, that understands how things go, and is flexible with the fact that, look, I have worked for them. I don't have full-time hours yet, but if you can work with me, if you can hang out, if you vibe right, if you're easy to sit in the truck with and it's not annoying or weird or awkward or you don't stink or whatever, like some guys are slobs, okay, and you work hard and things look good and you can replicate my work, you will get more hours over time and you will get more hourly pay over time. I just need to find that one person that is gonna put effort in, and that's my main goal for the year. Super excited for 2026, and I'm just gonna wrap it up there, man. I'm gonna go scalp some yards and spray some pre-emergent, and I'm really excited to get into this year. It feels different, and it feels cleaner, and it just feels right, you know. I feel like, as weird as it is, 10 years later, I feel like I'm starting the business back up again. There were a lot of years there in the middle that were just they sucked and they weren't fun. And it wasn't because of COVID. COVID was amazing for me. That was a really big jump in income for me. Because a lot of people went out of business, and you know, here I am, like, I've already been scraping by. So it was nothing for me to up my prices and then take a little bit of those yards from these other guys that went out, right? So anyway, 2026, I feel like a kid again. I'm getting back into this thing. I'm excited. I'm doing the YouTube again. I'm trying to be real, you know, real on top of this. So, hey, look, subscribe. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out this year, I think, on this channel. Hopefully I can keep up with it. Again, I've cut out a lot of fluff and mess, and it'll give me some time to work on this kind of thing. So listen, if you appreciate my rambling about my history, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ask questions, because I don't really know what to talk about in a video like this, so I just kind of rambled, and that's what most of my videos are. So if you stuck with it, I really appreciate you hearing it all out. If you have questions, let me know, and I can even, if it's worth it, I'll make a whole video about it, right? If I can't just type it out. So appreciate you watching. Go ahead and subscribe. See ya.